Welcome to Elmar's ecosystem.
It's an ecosystem. Everything is connected.
It's an amazing experience.
Hey, welcome, Erick.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so nice to meet you. It's crazy, actually. I'm meeting a lot of people through iNat, and I love it. This is why I got iNaturalist open. So yeah, I just want to ask you, how did you start? What's your interest in, nature and all of that? Where did it come from? I like to ask this because it's just an interesting question.
I grew up here in George.
Okay.
My father was an honorary conservationist at Wildflowers in the 90s.
Oh.
And kind of stemmed from as I grew up, we often, almost every weekend, we would, especially in primary school, we would go down Sarsveld on a weekend.
Yeah.
My father and I would go walk up the river, just boondoe bash our way through. I would often play in the river with the rocks.
Yeah.
And turning them over, looking at all the critters, the fish, and everything that's there. And kind of, where kids my age then had PlayStations and Xboxes and those kind of things, and I had no interest whatsoever. I was an outside child growing up. I would much rather be in the forest or in the
And you were
fynbos.
close to the nature.
Always.
Yeah.
My father also, he was a wood technician, so he made furniture. He, especially from like driftwood, he would make sculptures and stuff. That was his side hobby mainly.
Nice.
But yeah, and so that's how I grew up, and then. Even through high school, everybody else was like, no, they want to do accounting. And I was like, no, I want to be as close to nature as I can get.
That's cool.
And then, I got to study at Nelson Mandela University. So I would have studied GIS, Global Information Systems. But then, there was a whole complication with that. And then about June, July of 2017, my mom and I, we went to this campus here at George to have almost like a little interview just to see, what are my options, because I wanted to do something that was, nature, that you can use in nature and stuff. So this lady said, but they have nature conservation, and they asking me a lot of, what is your APS score and all of that stuff, and I had a very decent APS score, and they said, please come and apply. There's these type of funding that you can also apply for. And it just, I think, snowballed from there. And then I knew from the start that I would be doing my honours eventually. I did my advanced diploma, or what used to be the BTech degree, in 2021. But then some unfortunate events happened, so I was forced to, I would have carried on.
Was it the COVID?
No. My mom passed away in 2022.
Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so everything was a bit of a curveball then. So I had to choose, am I going to study further or do I have to go and work? So I was kind of forced to make that choice.
Yeah.
So I decided, okay, let me go and work and build some experience. And then last year I decided, you know what, I want to do my honours. Yes. I've been wanting to do it for so long. And I was almost feeling like time is running out. Like if I don't take this opportunity now, because my sister and I, we were living with my grandfather, and he passed away now in May.
Oh, my
so,
goodness.
but I said last year, Grandpa would have been 86 this year. So, so understandably, time we were on borrowed time in any case.
In any case, yes.
And I said last year, no, I need to do this. I need to apply. And I got a bursary, and now I'm busy this year with my honours.
That's great. I'm glad you got a bursary, because that just makes everything easier.
Yes.
Because the only reason I took a master's, I told my professor, if I don't get a bursary, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it on my own. Because I paid for my own intuition in any case for my undergrad. I had to borrow money and bear afterwards after I work. So it's difficult. But yeah, what work did you do just before?
Mainly did conservation, conservation type of work and consultation type of work. I'm registered with SACNASP as a botanical and conservation scientist.
That's nice.
So I've been helping a lady called Desiree de Pria. I don't know if you've heard of her.
No.
She owns Greenfire Enviro, and for the last few years I helped her.
Did some specialist work.
Yes, specialist work, especially
Nice.
because for EIAs and such, she would normally have to fly botanists and so over from either Joburg or get them over from Cape Town, which is a bit
do
costly. And then they don't necessarily know our vegetation and our situation that we have here. So it was just now really convenient that I'm here. I've been building up.
I feel that's so wrong, like flying people from other places. Like you can't fly me to Joburg now and I can go do a botany survey. Like I'm not in touch with the nature there at the moment.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a mistake, probably.
Yes, I've been. I've joined when Ludwig was here. He would have. I think he would have probably mentioned it. Him and I, we are both part of the crew.
The crew, yeah.
And I started in my practical year in 2020, and I started really from going there like an absolute, like nothing, know a few plants maybe here and there that my father taught me over the years, but when it came like to the scientific names, I was like, geez, this is going to be a hard one.
It's going to be a hard one, yes.
And I remember it's one of the most memorable things when I started. I remember Di Turner. She was then the head of the crew group before Jenny took over.
Okay.
And I remember we were going to the Swartberg, and we were going to what's the peak's name? But we were going up there.
One.
Yeah. It's as you go on
the
top.
pass.
Wildflowers. There we go.
Wildflowers, okay.
So we went to Wildflowers to look for Crassula peculiaris, which hasn't been seen at that stage 12 years prior.
Wow.
So, we had a few targets that we were looking at, and I remember distinctly Di telling me, and she said, because she knew I was new, and she said to me, it doesn't matter if you ask me 10 times or 20 times, what is this species, what is that species, because that's all how you are going to learn is repetition, repetition, repetition.
I love that.
And it just started, and I was like a sponge, just absorbing all of this information. And then later in 2020, I said to Di, and I sent Jenny also a message, and I said, you know what, everybody has like their own little niche. Ludwig is orchids and bulbines, as far as, and I think probably Haworthias and those kind of things. And Jenny is Clifortias, and Erick is Wren is also now Ericus and Agathosmas, Dave is Phylicus. And everybody has like their own little speciality that they are focusing on. And I thought by myself, I wonder if I can maybe do the same. What would be interesting?
Yes.
And I asked them, what is maybe a group, a family, or a certain species?
It's a bit understudied.
Yeah, that's underrepresented.
Yes.
That doesn't really get attention. And they said, well, the Tomiliaceae family generally has been neglected in our area. And I thought, okay. And I started with the Struths, with the Struthiolas. And again, it like a domino effect. One led to another. And after the Struths, the Passerinas, and then Lachnea.
Yeah.
And,
well, let's search the Struthiola
and
to show
Medias
everyone
and
how cool they look, because they are really special. I think this is the whole South Africa, so maybe let's just look at some of the species. Yeah, there they are. Beautiful. Just place them like that.
Yes. So I started with these, and it just snowballed into the other genus, or in the other genera. And I remember I was in the start when I had to look up a species, and I was going through the Strelitzia publications.
Oh yes.
And I noticed, and I was like, but my word, Lachnea, Nidia, all of those that I was interested in, that's before I really got to know the families and learn the other families. I was like, oh my word, they're actually all in the same family.
Yeah.
And completely unaware or unbeknownst that my interest as I was looking at, oh, this is interesting plant. What is this and what's that? And they all ended up being in the same family.
Makes it interesting. How do they
Yes.
relate? And where
Yes.
did the evolution, where did it split?
Yes. And so now for my honours, our course is basically divided in, you have about half of the year technically is class, and then your other year is your,
Is your-
the other half is your
It's
research
your
project.
research project, yes.
And I wanted to do my research project on the Strithiolas.
Nice.
And then Anthony McGee came and he said, sorry, but someone already beat you to it.
Seriously?
So they've done the 4, because they come in 4, 8, and 12 scaled Strithiolas. And they said they've already done the 4 and the 12. Someone's now doing the 8
Well,
scales.
maybe
Or
explain that.
revising.
Because somebody, I can remember I uploaded a Strafiola and somebody told me how many bracts did it have. So how
Yeah.
do you know?
So generally for, especially the Struths, in the Tamiliaceae family, they come in, they have floral scales.
Should we go into one maybe? Like this one, for instance.
Yeah. You can go into
I think this is the actual one that I posted. Makuania. So can you, maybe let's zoom in
Yeah.
like that. I'll say.
So you can see that there's floral scales.
Oh.
So they're always in multiples of 4.
Okay.
Either 4, 8, or 12, but you'll never have a species with 8 floral scales that will have 4 or 12. So if it's 8, it's 8. If it's 4, it's 4. And if it's 12, it's 12.
It really helps with identification.
Yes. So you can really easily work through a process of elimination. So because there's only 2 species with 4 floral scales, and then the majority has 8, and then the rest is 12. And then you go and you look. Okay, so let's say, like in this case, it's 8
actually
floral
by
scales.
Dieter, can you
Yeah,
believe
by
it?
Dieter. And you can see like the hypanthium or the floral tube
Yes.
is hairless.
Okay.
And so certain species have hairy floral tubes and some of them don't.
Yes.
And so that's the kind of features that I was starting to look at.
Yeah.
Was really going and seeing, okay, and you're looking at the hairs on the floral scales, which is either longer or shorter or equal to the floral scales. And that really makes it easy to ID. And so I was quite surprised that, no one really looked at them.
Yes.
And yeah.
It's a beautiful flower. It's a beautiful
Yes.
plant. When I see Strafiola, I'm like, oh, that's a cool thing.
I mean, if you go to the Gardener Dam now, Strithiola hirsuta is just booming.
Everywhere. I love it.
As I went to campus now, when was it? I think it was on Thursday. You just see these patches of this glistening white in between the as you
They
drive on the
smell
Salzford
nice,
Road.
actually.
Some of them do, especially in the afternoon. I haven't picked up a smell on all of them.
All of them, yeah.
But like her Strithiola hirsuta
That one smells
tends
nice.
to have a vanilla-ish smell, especially
That's white.
in the afternoon.
So it's probably, is it
Moth.
pollinated by moth, right?
Probably moth. If it's white, generally it's moth.
It's moth, yeah.
But these will be insect pollinated either by I would think.
Because the proboscis of the moth will probably
Yes.
go into that tube.
Yes, and you'll also have your needle nose flies, for example, that might pollinate
That's
as
cool.
well.
That's so cool. Okay, so somebody already did what
Yes.
bracts now?
Explain
Explain that really nicely now.
Okay, so my project for my honours is I'm doing a taxonomic revision.
Okay.
So I would have done it on Struths, but like I said, Anthony McGee from Sandby, he said to my other supervisor, no, but someone's already busy with that. But they're busy revising the Nidia genus.
Oh, nice.
He described the Nidia genus as sort of like the dumping ground. If someone is unsure on what is the ID for this, and then they just throw it in Nidia. So what they've now are busy with, they are splitting the genus. So the section or the plate that I'm working on is going to be renamed from Nidia to Pedia.
Okay.
So that work has been done. So my task for my project is basically I have to revise the species within, or what will be in the Pedia genus. So I have to go look, are these species in their own rights, according to what classifies them as this clade? Do they follow, or do they have the characteristics that put them there? And I have to then describe them almost as my supervisor said. I have to take it as though I am the first person ever to take or to look at these plants. You basically do it from scratch.
I get what you're saying. You want to raise all the background information.
Yes. So you do. What I did also was I did take into account, what has been done, because you have to go, okay, what was Meisner's thought process or Wright's thought process when he did the revision? Because Nydia haven't been properly revised since about 1915.
Sure.
So it's 110 years, and I must say when I started it was a mess, especially the one.
I can think it's a mess.
And because you have to go look at what did they decide? Why did they decide this was like that?
And
that was
they also just threw it out as a
yes. So that's basically 80% of my project was sorting through the species.
Sure. So did you look like through herbarium specimens?
Herbarium specimens mainly.
Yeah.
And you have to go look the leaf arrangement, the hypanthiums, are they here? What is the structure of the inflorescence? And you group them and you say, okay, this is definitely this one. This is definitely this one. These two, okay. Here's maybe a bit of confusion. Let's try and see and further sort them to the point where you can say, okay, I'm confident this is, for instance, in this clade there are 6 species. Well, used to be. It's Mayri, Nitida, Pavula, Setosa, Racemosa, and Thesioides.
Yeah, and they were first in Nydia, but they're going to be switched.
But part of what I'm busy with, I've reclassified some of them. So I've put Nydia Thesioides with Nydia Racemosa.
Okay.
I studied the specimens at the Bolus Herbarium at UCT. And I went to Compton now at the end of March, start of April, for about a week to study, literally just going through the specimens, sorting and sorting.
Did they have a lot of specimens for you?
Well, I have a loan that they sent through from Compton, and Bolus sent high resolution images. Okay. So, for instance, the type specimens. So, which is the original collection, like the first ever collection of the species. Nydia nitida and Nydia parvula's type specimens are at Bolus. So I've studied them as well. So I've taken a look, because they were the original descriptions.
Yeah, maybe let's put Nydia on. Just one. I like to use iNat because it's nice. Nydia. Oh, genachtig. Let's just go to the genus first. There's a lot of species around the world in South Africa. It's 50 here.
Yeah, so we have about 50 in
South
Africa. Probably more.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them that are unaccounted for.
Okay, so you spoke about, which one did you speak about now?
I have Mayri is Mayri and Setosa are the only ones on INAT that there are observations for. Pavula hasn't been seen since the early 20th century. So,
ooh, that's cool.
So,
and where does it occur?
They are mostly in the Cape Peninsula area, the further western Cape, but Racemosa and what used to be Thesioides is more in the eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal. So they have quite a bit of a range. I think Brian de Priya, he most recently in the Laingsburg area, if I'm not mistaken, observed Nydia Mayri, which is perfect. Perfect location, perfect. The the image or the photos perfectly match
great.
what
So you
I've
can
been working
So you
on.
can actually use it.
Because one of the next steps really, because Nydia Nitida and I think Rasamosa and Pavula is not on INAT. There's no
Yeah,
observations
they
or
won't.
modern observations for them.
All the rare things
Yes.
is not on INAT.
Yes, so if you go on INAT now and you search Nydia Rasamosa or Nydia Nitida, you'll only
You'll
have...
probably,
you'll,
you won't find anything.
the avatars will just be a blank.
Yeah, it will be a blank.
There's nothing.
Yeah, it's like for some of the insects on INAT's also like that. Most
Yes.
insects actually, the species. It's also difficult to ID the insects through
Yes.
an image. You need
Yes,
microscope.
insects
It's a
are
problem.
a bit of a thing because sometimes you need the underside, like
Exactly.
your arachnids. You
need the different
yes,
angles.
Yes, you
Yeah.
need your undersides for like your bark spiders, and you don't often. I mean, someone who's new to INAT, that
You want.
they don't know
don't
these
understand,
things.
yeah.
And it comes with time and with people, like when you upload stuff and they're like, oh, but to give
I think it will.
a species level ID, you need to have, or to be able to see this feature, that feature.
Yeah.
And that's how I also picked up these type of little details where people look at a plant and they're like, oh, okay, chip photo, upload, and they're like, especially like your Erick, for example. I'm not the expert here, but you have like Erica sparsa or Erica
Yeah, that's difficult.
quadrangularis. People take a wide shot and then they post it, and they're like,
you
but
can't
I
keep-
can't like, I need to see what is the shape of the flower. What is
Yes.
it? Does it have a funnel shape or a simple stigma or that kind of things? Is
Those
something
tiny
that-
things,
Yes,
it's the difference.
there
yeah.
are. I might be wrong now, but there are 800 and something
Species of
of
Erica.
of Erica.
Yeah. No,
And
I think it is correct. It's
it's-
about
it's-
800. Yeah.
That some of them
Probably 900.
Yeah, well, Rennes found a few new Ericas, as well as he was busy going and revising them as well. And it's incredible, you know, as we explore other areas that, you know, not many people get to.
Yeah.
And I mean, some properties that we've gone to. I mean, we went to this one farm at the northern side of the Swartberg, at the northern side of Spitzkop. So if you're on the rest, there's that one mountain with that sharpish peak, and we were on the northern side of that. And there's a couple of, you have to go there and there and there. It's like literally you have to go back roads and up roads and down roads to get to these
Get
places.
to the certain spot. Yeah.
And you are so amazed that, you know, you think, you know, so little people get there. And then when you go, there's like Erica ricardii, which I observed there. And
Yeah.
it's only the fourth. I don't
Observation.
think there's more. It's only the fourth observation
Yeah,
for
'cause
it on INAT. And that's why, you know, INAT to me is such a useful tool.
It's very useful.
I mean,
Just
for,
to
yes.
teach learn all the species.
Yes,
It just
and,
helps a lot.
You know, you discover, you know, so much. I mean,
You discover habitat types as
Yes.
well on the INAT. You realize, oh my word, I've only seen this species here, and then you think you just walk 100 meters
Yes.
on, you see, oh, but it's actually
people-
different. Yeah, that's
people
interesting.
People don't realize, you know,
It's
its benefits of being or using INAT. People might say, I mean, my ex-partner, he didn't necessarily understand, you know, the hype on INAT, and you know, he is technically a chartered accountant, and I'm a conservationist, and our worlds didn't really mix well.
Yeah.
And so often if we go hiking, I'm like, oh, that's that species, and he's like, okay, like, it's cool,
Chillax,
it's cool to see these plants, but it doesn't. It's like it's not helping you. You're telling me the names of them, because you know it's not going to stick.
Yeah,
and
most-
then you're kind of like almost showing off, like, you know, I know all of these things, and
Yeah,
but
and most
yeah.
of those people, they actually just want to go for
Yes.
just to be in nature. They
Yes,
don't really want to
and-
go and
but
learn from
yes,
it.
but still, you know, the thing of posting on INAT
Hmm.
is people like myself, for instance, it's not just about posting.
You're helping
It's
for science.
it's helping for science, and
And you won't even notice it, actually. But,
yes,
but sometimes people,
If
like,
you-
I'm sure you also get it, like people message you and ask, where
Yes.
did you see this and how many, did you take extra pictures?
Yes.
Can I please get it? I've had a couple of emails like that, and I'm like, okay,
Yes.
so I'm actually helping.
Yes,
I'm actually helping.
I've built myself on over the last four-ish years, 4 or 5 years, that in such a way
Yeah,
that
you've observed a lot of stuff,
yes,
actually.
I'm I think about 60 or so away from 27,000 observations.
That's crazy. It's a lot.
And it's really because I was, or I'm still, wherever I go, if it's like, we were now in the Overberg for a class field trip,
nice.
now in the middle of last month. And we were there to do small mammal and bird studies. And
Okay.
the second part of that trip was doing diversity studies and vegetation surveys and stuff.
Yeah, diversity indexes or
Yeah,
stuff like
so
that.
so I was a bit out of my comfort zone when it came to the animals, because I like, okay, well, still it's learning. It's
Oh, you still get to
Yes.
see all the plants and everything.
yes, and
Connect with it.
one of the stuff that we had to do is we went to Stanford, and our lecturer arranged he had a consultation, and he took us. We were about 8 students in the conservation department.
For the honor.
Yes, because we are 3 departments: agriculture, forestry, conservation. I think we're 4. I can't remember the 4th one. But we're the 4 departments, but under one qualification.
Oh,
So
okay.
we have class together as a whole, and then we have our electives, and so you can
So this was an elective.
Yes, so this was for our elective. So we went to the Overberg to go do these studies, and then on I think the Saturday we went to Stanford to help with the EIA survey.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Actually, to do animals, but Professor Jan Venter, he as everyone divided themselves, and I was like, okay, well, I tend to just step back and just fall in wherever I go. And then Jan turned to me because they know I'm the plants guy.
Yeah.
and he turned to me and he was like, "Look, there is plants on the screening tool and stuff that they have for this, but go and see what you can find." And that I enjoy. Like some of the groups were doing birds, others were doing amphibians and lizards, and the other group was doing insects. And I was thinking, okay, well, everybody's actually in their own group, so where am I going to now squeeze in? And Jan just said, just see what you can find. Yeah, no restrictions, okay, go look for that type of thing and that type of thing, which I thoroughly enjoy. I like going on my own mission. And they can just send me off and just say, okay, do what you have to do. And yeah, that's kind of my fun.
Yeah. And what did you find?
Yeah. Well, I think I complicated things for them a bit, because I found extra species that is not even on the screening tool
crazy.
list. So instead of writing a compliance letter, now they have to go and do the more thorough thing, and it's because they're all threatened species on the property.
Yeah.
Not just near threatened, but some of them endangered and stuff. So now, yeah, did gooi probably a span in the works, but it's part of the it's what
part of it.
happens.
Yeah, we need to conserve these species.
Yes.
It's very important.
And I mean, I've put all my observations on INAT from that trip.
Yeah.
And look, my research project has a second part as well, which is why for something like where INAT comes in useful. So there are 2 new, possible new species of Nidia in the Overberg that I'm working on. I'm about 96% sure that they are new. As you see here, they list 50 species in the whole of South Africa.
Yeah, this is the whole South Africa.
And
Where in Overberg? Is it at Stanford?
Oh,
Somewhere
no,
there,
no,
or-
no. It's in the Napier.
Oh, Napier.
Kloof.
Oh, so it's Renosterveld.
Yeah, Renosterveld.
Okay.
And Renosterveld being critically endangered, a critically endangered veld type, it's surprising, even still, because there's 5 to 10% left of the original
Probably less, actually.
Overberg Renosterveld.
Yeah.
So, it's also, it's what people don't realize, like with something like revision work. I also worked for Sanby for about 6 months or a bit more, where I did red list assessments. So basically, that's where you take a species and you assess it and you give it a status.
That's good.
And what people don't realize is a lot of the specimens or the data that is used for revisions and for assessments for red listing comes from INAT.
Wow. That's
And
crazy.
So
Is it just a new thing, or?
No. It's I would guess
Probably from
since
iSpot.
Probably since iSpot. But the
That's so
data
valuable.
is taken from INAT. So
Wow.
when something is put to research grade,
Yeah.
scientists like myself can take that data and say, okay, these species are known to occur here and here and here. And when doing assessments, sometimes you find, if like that's also the thing with crew, you find species that in areas that you didn't know that even occurred.
Existed there.
So, I mean, Rain, for instance, it was him, I think, that rediscovered Dies nudicati in the Nature's Valley area, which was thought to be
Extinct.
possibly extinct, and just by chance. And that's the thing with going out and doing these surveys, like
Yeah.
Ludwig with the orchid and the bulbines, like he's found also a heck lot of bulbines that is new to science. And then I've used INAT like for the two new Nidias, and for the comparison tool where you can go through all of the known Nidias on INAT, and you can say, oh, that looks similar but not really, and you can then kind of see, okay, is it maybe one that's already known, or could it be something new? And so far, it is completely new. I've not been able to find, not even since the Strelitzia publications.
Wow.
So the chance that these two are new are about, I would say, 96%.
Yeah.
I'm basically now
So
just
you'll-
waiting for the DNA sequencing workup.
Oh, so you already collected the species?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've taken herbarium specimens and I've collected, with a permit, of course, taken or collected samples that will be DNA sequenced. And once
You'll just compare.
yes, and then
See if
I'll
it's
plug it
actually-
into the phylogeny tree
Yeah.
and to see, is it a match with maybe a known species, or maybe one
was
that's
possibly
been
extinct,
forgotten. Yes,
yeah.
and that's the thing. If you go look at even like the struts, if you go look on the red list, there's a lot of them that says DDT, which is taxonomically problematic.
Maybe let's put that on as well. Red list. It's also a nice thing. I like to go there to see. Come on, baby, what's going on?
So yeah,
Yeah.
I often
Yeah, which
use
is-
I often use on the red list or the threatened species programs red
Yeah.
list to go look up a status or so. And
I don't know why it's not working now. Sorry.
no worries.
Oh, there it goes. Great stuff. Here,
Yes.
I was probably looking at Cotula. So what did we say now? Straciolia, for instance.
If you go look at Straciolia, you will see that there's a lot of them that are listed as DDT, which is that
data deficient.
taxonomically problematic because you have the two. You have DD, the three Ds,
Oh, that's
which is data deficient, and then you
yeah.
have DDT, which is data deficient, taxonomically problematic, and that basically just refers or just says that that particular species might be conspecific with a known species. So, for instance, what I found was Struthiala concava, which will be on the list, is listed as DDT, but it is actually,
Yeah, there it is.
yeah,
Concava.
but it's actually the one just above, Struthiala ciliata.
Oh, okay.
And there's
So they were
one,
just confused.
Cicatricosa is Macawanii.
Macawanii.
So what happens is, so for instance, in the big, like if you go look at, let's see, okay, so you have Confusa there, which is done by Wright, and you have, say, Ecloniana done by Meisner. So if you think now, Meisner first, or is the describing author of Struthiala ecloniana, and then someone comes and they discover a plant, and they don't know about his work,
Exactly.
and they describe this plant and they give it a name.
Yeah, that probably happened a lot in the older days.
And that's what happened, like with my research project with Struthiala, Nidia racemosa and Thesioides. They are the same thing, but they were described by two different people.
Yeah.
And it is most likely that the one didn't know about the other one.
It would be so interesting. Like, if you look at the description, is it quite similar?
Well, if you...
Obviously, human error
yes,
will have, like,
yes.
different preferences.
And it is interesting to go and see, you know, what has possibly led to them saying, oh, it's maybe, or defining it as two different species. Because now I go and look at all the available specimens to me, and I go, but this there's exactly the same as this. The features,
and now you try to figure out why did they say it's different.
Yes.
Yeah. You can also probably look at the history. When did they
Yes.
do that one? When did they do
yes,
that one?
and then you go and you say, okay, well, based on this sorting, that's why Anthony especially said, you know, you have to look at this as if though you are the person that discovered and described the species for the first time. Now you have to go look at your samples, and you have to go, oh, you know, that's something different, that's something different. Then I came to these two, and I was like, no, this is definitely the same as this, and this is definitely the same as that. And even on the herbarium specimens at Compton and at the Bolus herbariums, they seem to have or agree that they are synonymous of each other. Now how it works is, since Neria racemosa was described first, Neria thesioides will now be put with racemosa and fall under the name racemosa because racemosa is older.
It's older, okay. That's
So
interesting.
you'll often see in revisions.
But you won't change the name.
No.
Yeah.
So the names are set.
Yeah.
But Thesioides will now no longer be Thesioides.
Yeah.
It will now fall under
Just fall
racemosa.
under, yeah.
But you'll often see with revisions in the published articles that there's something called a species treatment. And that basically goes about like the history. It shows you, or it's something of a reference where you can go and say, these were the history of who described it when, and how they revised it, and how they grouped it. And so you kind of look at that, but then you go, okay, well, that's what they did. Now, you kind of go, do I agree with that? And so I go and I say, okay, well, these are the features. Okay, that's definitely that. That's definitely that. Here is exactly these are two different names, but they have this exactly. And that's why, you know, you can't just base it off of a quick photo like that. That's why I say, like for Erick, you have to have the close-ups because you need to be able to see the final little things.
You don't want to make a mistake like that, obviously.
Yes, because you can't group something that is, for instance, a plant that has opposite leaves to a plant that has alternate leaves and say, oh, that's the same thing, when it's clearly not.
I think one of my Ericcas, I think you actually commented on one long ago where you said the photo is too far or something.
Yes, yes, and
I was like, hey, don't block some, it's not far.
yes. So, it's one of those things that, you have to go and look at the anthers. You have to go, you have to do floral dissections because you have to compare all of them with each other and see, okay, these are different from that ones. Those are in a group together because they all are the same.
Yeah, Ludwig said precisely the same thing. Like, when you start taking photos of plants, you don't really know exactly what, how. I feel like it would be so benefit to have a lot of INAT workshops for just the public people as well, just to show them how to take a picture of a spider, how to take a picture of ants, how to take a picture of Straphiola or whatever, any type of flower.
And the more you notice the little things, the greater appreciation you start to get. You're like, this thing is so tiny, and what sets it apart is this little tiny feature that no one necessarily knows. But once you start going into it, and you start noticing these little things.
When you go out a lot, you notice it all the time.
Yes, and then you start going, oh, that's that thing, oh, that's that thing, and that's like with doing the IDs.
Yeah,
even
us as botanists, we have an eye for it. Like, we can walk and we can see, okay, that's definitely a different species. But the normal person, no, that's just whatever. That's a flower.
I mean, for my
and a lot of the INAT users are just normal people who go out to weird places. You get farmers who use it even on their farm, and those people are very valuable because they have private property where they have probably a lot of cool Renosterveld species, for instance, or succulent Karoo. Makwalan is a great example.
Dr. Odette Curtis.
That is Renosterveld.
Yeah, she's worked. They all she and Grant, they are working actively with landowners in the Overberg area.
Yeah, they have to.
Because I mean, the Renosterveld is so badly fragmented, and to be frank, the main reason why those islands of Renosterveld even still exist is the fact that they are often in unfavorable or unsuitable terrain to be able to plow.
Yeah.
So you have your rocky outcrops here, or you have your river systems there where you can't really plow into and stuff. And that's the only reason why most of those pockets and patches are still there.
Yeah.
And the Harvakskloof, the Harvakskloof Renosterveld Reserve is the largest intact piece of Renosterveld that's left. But they are working now with some success. Some landowners, they can't really be bothered because they're like, this is my land.
They want money as well.
Yes, like the agriculture or the livestock. It's their income, it's their survival, which you can understand. But you also have to think, as much as that is true, once the Renosterveld is gone, it's gone. It will never be as it was originally.
Yeah, even if you do replanting, it's never the same.
Yes, it'll never be the same. So, and I mean, there's still new species being discovered.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, and it's on the Harvakskloof, they did a burn in April of this year. And when we were there, we went and had a little bio blitz to see, what's popped up after the, and it's amazing.
I should probably go now. I want to go because I'm going to Stanford now.
Some of the orchids are coming out. You cannot believe the amount of specials.
After the burn,
yes,
it's crazy.
There's Gladiolus van der Merwe, which is endangered. You have Ixia micrantha, I think, which is near threatened. I think Haworthias and everything. That we found there. Of course, technically we have a rule in the crew group. There's some people tend to break it about not posting Haworthias or
on the INAT or
well on INAT. So like your Haworthias and your knoppies, what are they called?
Conophytums. Oh damn! I've uploaded
Yeah,
some kind of
well-
item
well-
recently
well-
from Namakwaland, where it's even worse.
Well, Tony Rebello will probably say, because I've heard that it has been said that
We shouldn't do it anymore.
still post it. It's
Oh,
it's
okay.
better on than off. Like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, people will
Because-
still go.
Well, they still have, in an attempt to minimize the risk of poaching, especially for the conophytums and certain awarthias and so on, they automatically obscure.
Yeah, I know. I've seen
But
that.
yeah, I'm still not too keen because
Yeah, but because obscure is still like, it shows you
Yes.
still it's in that area. And for a
Yes.
Chinese person, or they can just ask a local.
yes, I mean, if I go here to Harold, where there's a lot of orchids, and there's one Daisa schlechteriana, and then you go there and you observe some of the others, like your common stuff like leucodendron or your pincushions or stuff like that, and then you observe your or that Daisa, and you post it all together.
Yeah,
You can obscure it, but they will know that you were in that area.
exactly. It's a good point you're
So,
making.
so a lot of there are some tricks to that we've tried over the years that seems to kind of help. But like for conophytums, we usually report to Sanby directly and say, okay, we found them here and here, so that it isn't being so that no one can go on INET and say, okay, they've seen that thing there and it's poachable. Your Balbani set is becoming more poachable. Even
it's very sad.
even your clivias. There was a report the other day about clivias or this specific sort of clivia that's starting to be
Is
poached.
that Manuta,
Yeah,
maybe?
I think it's something in that line.
Yeah, I'm not isn't that a Natal or Eastern Cape species? I'm not sure now.
I think it's Eastern Cape Natal.
Yeah, it's very sad because these poachers, like, I'm not saying it's Chinese people, but like there's a lot of poachers from East
Yes.
Asia that come in, and the locals don't have, they don't have money. So
Yes.
they'll do anything for a
Yeah.
little bit of money because they need to eat, and the locals usually know where to find these
And
succulents.
the thing is
It's very
also-
sad.
Yeah, and the thing is, they don't take into account the impact that they have, because to them it's their bread and butter. You
Yeah.
can understand, the unemployment rates, the cost of living crisis, and all of that stuff. It's worldwide, that kind of thing. So people are desperate, and it's fact.
Yeah.
So in the sense that yes, you can understand why, but you can also think, as locals, they must also think, or that
Some sense of morality.
Yes,
you
and
know?
that they don't get to that point where they start to think, we're taking out a lot of this. Soon there's going to be
Nothing left. Yeah.
And that's the thing is, people, it's greed. It's where they just take out and take out and take out. But
And people also do stuff for easy money.
yes, and it's so frustrating, because you see something that used to be common, and now you can hardly find it unless you know where to go and look.
Yeah.
And also in those cases,
the
you
same as,
have to keep it to yourself. You don't say, oh, I saw
Pugu.
that thing there.
Pugu is a great example where you, some of the mountains, Stellenbosch, like I used to smell buchu at a lot of kloof, and I recently walked there and I'm like, there's no buchu here in this
Yes.
kloof actually. So people actually came and harvested
Yes.
it all probably.
So it's a kind of thing where it's like with the rhinos. If the rhinos are gone, what's next?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just going to carry on until
gonna
the one
carry
thing is
on.
gone, and then the next thing is
It's
gone,
just
and
gonna
then the next
target
thing is gone,
a next
and then
species, yeah.
you're left with nothing. And I mean, as diverse as the Cape Floral region might be, you still need to think. If as a poacher you go, oh, but I'm taking all of this now out. But until what point? Until what extent? So that there's nothing left. So the things go extinct. It's, and then you go, okay, well,
It doesn't make sense, no.
yes, it is a senseless thing in my mind. It's, and often these Asian and not necessarily just the Asian,
Yeah.
but a lot of them.
The succulents is a great
Yes, the
example.
succulents
Everybody likes to have a nice
Yes.
little succulent in their house, you know. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Europeans and Americans and all of those people are buying these kind of
Yes.
items. And they're not aware. They're not even aware that's an endangered
Yes, and then
species.
often these people they get actually paid peanuts to do the poaching
The
because
poaching, yeah.
because the syndicates they know that the people of this country, especially
Desperate.
are unemployed, are desperate, and they'll do anything to provide at least food on the table for their families,
Yeah.
and in a sense it's such a waste.
Sickening, actually.
Yes, because you go and you think, you know, if they go sell it on the black markets there, you know, they sell it for thousands
Yeah.
possibly, and what do our people get? You know, nothing. It's really
a meal for the evening,
yes,
probably.
yeah, it's a drop in the bucket. It's not really worth anything.
Yeah, it's very sad. Do you know Peter van Wyk there at Namakwaland? What he's doing, he's collecting some of the kind of item, some of the, and all the other succulents as well. What's like Cleridopsis, you know, you get a lot of kinds of isoaceae that's also very
Yes.
endangered. But what he's doing, he's growing it in the nursery. So he's trying to establish a massive population
Yes.
in a nursery so that he can sell it to the local market. And he's hoping that there's a documentary on it, actually. I think he won an award for his documentary. It's amazing. But the whole point is, if you can saturate the market with, you know,
Yes.
these grown ones, it might actually help a lot. Because the one problem he was mentioning as well is that even though you take it out of the landscape, right, and you do it in situ and you grow it, you can't necessarily go plant it back. It's not
Yes.
easy. And where,
Yes.
you know, these things are smart. We're not that smart as a plant
Yes.
of why they survived it. Those things are old. Some of them are
Yes.
growing in that spot for, we don't know, 80 years, 70 years. And now you have to go look for a spot to grow, plant one that you just, I'm not sure that's
Yes.
going to work.
And the thing is that with like the poaching, and it's something that Zambia has really started getting focused on. And you hear of the amount they confiscate, and you can't put them back really where they came from because it'll just get taken out again.
Yeah.
And then you go, but what do you do with them? So now take them to a nursery, or if you have to plant them back, plant them in areas that they know that where they will grow, but in very obscure places, hard to reach places, which won't necessarily work, because there will obviously for every plan that you have, there will be a downside that you have to weigh in your pros and cons. You know, what is okay, we can do this, but if we do that, then they can do this.
Yeah.
So there will always be a, yes, we can do that, but then this will happen. Or no, we can try this, but then that will happen.
Consequences.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to now take into account, okay, now this, okay, you have to now take into account what's going to be the best way forward. And one of the things that is spoken about a lot is cultivating them, and then just distributing them, saying, okay, well, here are these.
And I've seen it a lot.
Yes.
I've seen kind of phytum species like in local shops in Cape Town, for instance. I'm like, oh. And then it actually gives you information on the plant. This is a very critically endangered, blah, blah, blah. And then you obviously need a permit for that.
Yes.
Because you can't just take it anywhere.
I've become such a suspicious person when it comes to plants. The more I got to deal with these threatened plants and stuff, going into shops, you see floral, these bouquets and stuff. And then I always question, what's your source? And
For what type of
Yes.
flowers are you speaking
at
of?
the
Proteas, for instance.
Proteas, Ericas,
Leucadendron.
Leucadendrons, the lot.
What I've noticed sometimes is they spray it.
Yes,
They
well,
spray like a color on it.
yeah, and it defeats the purpose. You know, it takes away
hilarious.
its natural beauty in itself. And then there's a on every first Saturday of a month in Grootbrak, they have like a stalletjie type of thing. And there's this one specific one where they sell succulents. And I walked there, it was last year sometime. And I first noticed and I saw, but they have kind of items. They have euphorbias and stuff that are actually, you know, very much poachable and threatened and stuff. And I
Did you ask
went,
them?
And I asked,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I mean, do you have the permits? How do you collect them? Or how do you, like, the cultivation process?
Yeah.
You know, because obviously, in order to start, you have to get it from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not, I mean, not unless you can grow it from seed, you know, which is great. But often you have to, in succulents, you take a plant and you let it grow, and then you propagate it from a mother plant. And that's mainly what they did. Like, and they have permits. She showed me also their permits and stuff. Almost like I'm the what is the green? What is the not the green scorpions? What do they call? What do they call that? But yeah, they also investigate, like, if you report, like, okay, but we've seen this at this, so we're not sure if these people are or have the legal paperwork. To have these species.
Oh, okay.
I bought a lithops, and to have the lithops, you need to fill in a permit form in order to have it.
To have it, yeah. Obviously, because
yes,
they'd find you with a lithops somewhere.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to
yeah. So and then you have to please and explain how did you get it.
Yeah.
So in some cases, you know, it is thorough that and the steps they take, and some people are really legit, and so you have to give them credit. But still, you know, I still am suspicious wherever I go and I see plants that I recognize, and so, but how did you get this?
You know, some of these proteas that's harvested are, many of them are just large protea farms that you see in the, like Arnelia is a great example, Regain here, the Chikama, what is that one at back of Rondevlei's name again now? I can't remember. But it's big farms, you know, big protea farms. And then you get people that harvest it actually out of their own property.
Yes.
That I've also seen. But usually they don't take that. They like to use the hybrids.
Yes. I mean, yeah, because often the hybrids are easy to cultivate. They are fast growing, which is favorable for the cut flower industry and such.
Money, yeah.
Yes. So, you know, how efficient, how quick. And I mean, it's kind of what happened with Erica verticillata in the Cape region. You know, it was just used for cut flowers until there was nothing left. And it was only discovered in one of the botanical, I think it was Kirstenbosch Botanical Garden, where it was rediscovered, basically. And they've are now busy with the reintroduction program.
Wow.
So one population, as far as I'm
What
aware.
species is that, did you say?
Erica verticillata.
I have to look at it. Is it on here?
Yeah, it should be.
Erica
verticillata. There we go, the second one.
This one.
So currently it is still extinct in the wild.
So this is all...
Yeah.
Okay, this is a beautiful one.
Yes.
I get it. I get it.
So you can see why it was used in the cut flower industry.
Yeah.
But now they are making attempts to reintroduce it to its native
But you get
habitats.
such beautiful Ericas, man. Yo, like I like Strigifolia. Is it Strigifolia? What is
Yeah,
that?
Strigifolia. And
Georgitica here is pretty for me.
yes.
I love that one.
And you would be so amazed, you know, that about just its diversity. And I mean, yes, it's not exactly my area of speciality, but I mean,
even
still,
the people
if I see an Erica, you know, I take a photo of it.
Yeah. Because you never know. It could be something
Yes.
else.
I mean,
It usually is.
I mean, yes, there's close to 900 species. So, you know, and there's more discovered
Let's actually check.
very quite
How many
frequently.
is on INET for South Africa? Sorry that I'm focusing on INET here. Oh, a lot of oh,
So
you see,
yeah,
680.
686.
Probably not all of them.
Yeah, probably, yeah. So, it's quite astonishing, some of the diversity, and, you're kind of thinking, but why is there so many of them? But, it's...
A lot of extinctions, a lot of isolations.
Yeah, so
Just made
there's...
them so special.
And, you kind of, once you start looking at these things, you almost get a sense of pride. You're like, look at the plants that we have. I mean, we have the smallest of the 6 floral kingdoms, and we are one of the most diverse.
Most diverse. I love South Africa. South Africa is just awesome.
If I have it correctly, Table Mountain alone has more species than, I think, the UK.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just Table Mountain. It's not even the rest of the Cape Floral region.
That's
it's just
true.
Table Mountain.
That's crazy. Yeah, Table Mountain's also
people
a flipping cool place.
What you also try to do when, I mean, like my mom, for instance, we would often drive, and we'd go through the Outeniqua Pass and go to Oudtshoorn. And my mom would be like, "Oh, what's that? Oh, what's that?" And you're like, "Mom, I'm driving. I can't look at it now." Oh, no. Or take a quick squiz and see, that's that plant. Oh, that's that plant. Or if we see something interesting, my mom will always say, "No, stop if you want to stop and have a look." Because my mom knows, she knew that, I'm very curious. If I see something interesting, I want to go see what it is. I want to go investigate.
Yeah, my mother is the same. She knows I like to investigate.
Yes, I describe myself as a generalist, even though I focus on the Timaliaceae family.
I'm the same.
But yeah,
I would also describe myself
I like to
generalist.
learn
everything. I'm the same. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm
Yes.
speaking to different people.
Yes.
Because I like to learn what different people can teach me.
And I mean, one of our assignments now for conservation management is we are doing a presentation on our practical or field trip that we went to Harvaxkloof for, and then the other assignment is we have to do a YouTube short.
Oh, okay.
So we have our 4 topics with plants, insects, birds, and the small mammals.
Small mammals.
And so I teamed up with one of my classmates. He's very good with birds.
Okay, cool.
I don't. That's a bit out of my area of expertise. But when he suggested, why don't we do birds? And I was like, okay, you know what? Perfect. That is perfect for me because it's out of my comfort zones, out of my expertise. So it's a learning opportunity.
Exactly.
So I like to put myself in the situations like with the taxonomic revision. I could have taken any of the listed projects that they provided for honours, but I said, I wanted to do this type of thing because I don't know what that process is like. I don't know exactly how that works. So if I do this or if I do this, then it will learn me how to do this, how to do that, and it's kind of. It's like that saying, a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
It's better to be, a jack of all trades than to be a master of just one. So I like to, and even now,
But
I
the
get,
academic side,
Yes.
they want you to specialize
Yes.
usually. And I think that's why I'm out of academics. I didn't really want to go specialize into something specific because I'm a really curious
Yes.
person. Well, there's benefit and obviously, what's the opposite of benefit? A bad side to it.
yes,
Like you can go on with academia and you can stay into it, and I learned a lot from academia, from different projects. You hear other students,
Yes.
you hear other professors talking about stuff, so you learn a lot like that. So you do specialize, but you also, your network is intact, and you learn from all these
Yes.
people all the time.
and you get a lot of the students that was with me in my original group, they've gone on to be like field rangers and that type of thing. Where someone like myself, I like the academic side of it, and I like to be able to learn and to investigate and research, and I want to know more. So, that's why, yes, the industry, the higher you go up, the more they want you to specialize. But in the same sense, I'm still curious. That's why I did the consultation work, then I did this, and then I did that, and I did my own thing. And it's just a way for me, because it's difficult. It's difficult for someone like me to stay focused on one aspect when there are so many things that you
That's the thing.
that you can learn, things that you don't know, things you have questions about.
There's so many different things here in
Yes.
South Africa. There's too many, and you will
Yes.
not know everything ever.
Yes.
And that's actually why I'm so motivated
Yes.
to learn, because
Yes.
it's just so cool. There's so many different cool
And I
things.
mean, with a crew group, it's Ludwig and I, and so on. We are now the younger generation.
And you're gonna invite me, no?
Yes, of course. I mean, yes. I think they had a field trip now last week or the week before Friday, and it's a thing of Di and them started in 1993. So no, it's what 32 years. That they've been doing this, especially.
Crazy.
And being the younger generation, their knowledge, that's why.
You can gain so
Yes,
much from them.
Yes, I opened myself up. Di herself said the one day that I'm like a sponge, like I just absorb, because I opened myself up, saying,
Good.
if they are gone, that knowledge goes with them. So I said, teach me. I want to learn. What is this? What is that? How does this work? How does that work? And they've been, busy with these type of things, for more than 3 decades, which is more than my lifetime.
Exactly.
That they've been studying and researching and collecting data and stuff, that was otherwise, unknown to us. And now we carry on where they, when they retire and they
And we have
pass
the
on and-
benefit of all this information that we have.
Yes.
With the internet. It's crazy.
I mean, back then they
Had to go
they
to
had,
the
they
library
had
or-
manuals,
Yeah,
and
manuals,
field
yeah.
guides, and now you can somehow go and Google the species, and you can get a whole.
Summary on
Yes.
it or whatever.
And
Especially the common species, but
Yes.
the more obscure ones, not as much, I would
yes,
say.
and again, that is why something like INET is such a useful tool, and for people that want to start going and exploring, because you often get people who are retiring, so they want to find a new hobby or
This
so.
is perfect.
And then they usually have, someone like me don't necessarily have, the transport to go to certain places. So, like with crew, you often get an opportunity that you wouldn't necessarily have, because crew is part of is affiliated with Sandby. So we often get special permissions where the general public might not get. So that's why, when we go to an area, whether it's
unique
the
area.
Swartberg, I photograph everything that I can see, everything that crawls, everything that flowers, anything that maybe doesn't flower, or even Nikki in the from the crew group. It's always astonishing. I said to her the one day, I was with you. When did you see this thing? Because I was
Yes.
literally with you.
The whole time.
But she, she would move a lot slower, but she would go under the bushes, in between there, on top there, and so you would often, if you just go look a little closer, and you just take that time, because you go, there's something yellow flowering. But if you go and look, and then you
just
really
sit.
start to see the diversity, the species richness.
That's true.
And yeah, that has always just interested me, and that's what really drove my passion. Where I was like, we have our species that we have, of climate is perfect, or we are in the Cape Floristic region with so many species that are endemic just to this area that you find nowhere else in the world. And you have to take some pride in it. And you have to say to yourself, this is my job
responsibility,
and my responsibility to take care of it. Not, you don't necessarily have to have studied conservation or so.
And most people,
it's your duty as a human to take care of what we have. Because once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, you need. What's really important, you need to get people out there to understand why it's important. Because if you just say to people about it, they'll say, who cares? It's just whatever. It's just another plant, or it's another insect. So what I do with my classes now, I'm very lucky to teach. I'm teaching a Cambridge curriculum, and I have an environmental management subject. So what I do with the students, I take them out. And I just let them, observe things, because we're lucky enough to have a nice green, it's a lot of grass, but there's some trees and there's some little wetland, arum lilies and stuff, just to get a sense of stuff.
Yes.
And it's amazing, these students, I call them maybe they'll listen to this, I'm not sure, but I call them the zombie class, because they were so zombie in the class and not very interactive. But now they've changed a lot. I just feel like there's some interest there. I feel like I tickled them a little bit, and I feel that's so important. And I never thought I was going to be a teacher. I thought I was going to be a person who's going to be out there in the field a lot, but I realized I'm actually good at it, and I'm good at letting people realize the beauty of the natural world. And that's why I love it. I love it to do it.
And
it's great.
Then you have people like Ludwig with his friends that they created the Fynbos 5. I think they're probably more than 5. I don't know how many there are at the moment. And I mean, if you look at the I think it was last year or the year before, when they had the thing at the Gardiner Dam that they wanted to develop, and the amount of people that came up and they said no.
Yeah.
For one, they don't necessarily know the species, but for them, nature has a influence in their life.
Exactly.
I often go there nowadays with sometimes my sister when
you're talking about that Fynbos patches like around the dam, right?
Yeah, and
that,
even there, I go there often, walk around the dam and the trails and the stuff.
Yeah, there's some nice species
there. And it's sometimes, just to get away from your day-to-day life, out of town, where you're going, and you often have to go. And what I often do is I make coffee in a cup, and I go to the dam and I sit there at the dam, and you hear the Egyptian geese go past, or you hear this bird, or you see a forest buzzard fly by, and you go along the trails, and it's old plantation, but you'd be surprised at the amount of species that are still there.
Yeah, because it's like a buffer zone.
Yes, and people, even though they're not like us, looking into species or into the finer little details, but they know enough to say, no, we need this space. We are connected to nature.
Yeah, I think all the
to plow everything up to build another university, for instance, like they were planning. It's so. You think we already have a university, so what's the point? So a lot of it is just about it. It's about money. It's about all that it is about. And you look at it and you're like, we as people, no matter where you are, we are connected to nature.
And here in George, we have the privilege.
Yes, I mean, you have the mountains to the north and the sea to the south.
Yeah.
And you're like, even, people who have no background with like conservation work, and so you get. I'm like, now we are experiencing a drought. I've looked at weather models where they showed that we are in a severe drought at the moment. Though these type of things, environmental factors, all affect us in our daily lives. And, I've said, and a lot of people have said it, that the environment, the state of the health of the environment affects your physical health. If nature's not doing well, you're not going to do well.
I'm glad you're preaching that.
That's why, it is all of, it's our responsibility as conservationists to bring attention to it. But it's also our responsibility as people to, take care of the environment, no matter who you are, what your background is, or what your knowledge is on nature. You don't have to know all, so many species by heart. You just, as a human, I know not many people are religious, but like someone like me, I've always said, we were put on this earth, and we are the only species that are really actually. You don't see any of the other species, destroying their habitats. We are the only species on this earth that's doing that. Yeah. We are destroying everything deliberately, not even accidentally.
Yeah, because that can happen.
Yes,
with other species.
Yes. So and then you go and you look at what are we actually doing with our environment? What are we doing with our nature? And it's you go to other countries and it's shocking.
There's nothing left.
It's
in Europe.
What's
left? People go there for the buildings now. Yeah. There's no nature anymore. Really.
I don't know if they went through with it, but for one of some gathering thing in Brazil, they were going to make a highway through the Amazon forest.
Oh my gosh.
Think it was. What was it about? But they were going to make a highway through the Amazon forest. Like they've already
one built over the canopy, or
no, like through.
Yeah.
Just one straight through. And this conference thing is about saving nature and stuff, but they counterintuitively, if that's the correct word, just started plowing a road through.
Yeah.
And you're like, and it doesn't matter if you maybe raise your concerns about it, because it's who benefits, not what benefits.
Yeah.
It's
it's always the case.
So it's concerning, and then you have our people in our government that there was that thing with Shell the other day, but then as soon as they lose here, then suddenly in Namibia they said they want to drill off the coast there because they didn't get. They didn't get right here. Now they want to go elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, it's everything in that sense is money. It's who's benefit, like who's getting rich, and they don't care what suffers. As long as they can get what they want, and they can get the money that they want, and they can get the product out, and doesn't necessarily
and
matter.
They also exploit African people. Like the whole of Africa is being exploited.
Yes.
And they're using that to their advantage.
Yes, it's the same that we said with the poaching.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
It's exploiting the unemployed because they know people are desperate for any source of income that they can
If these people of our country can just have a little bit better food security, water security, better opportunities, we'll probably thrive as a nation.
I remember for my fourth year in 2021, we had a very long field trip, and on this field trip we discussed the fact that not many people are aware of even what's happening. And through my practical at the Botanical Gardens the year before, environmental education was one of the larger aspects that I did. And I brought this point up, and some of the other students laughed at me, like they mocked me about it.
Environmental education?
Yeah, about environmental education. They laughed.
Why would they do that?
And I just sat there, and luckily a week or two after that field trip, one of the ministers came, and she explained, the importance of environmental education, and I sort of sat there in class like smug as hell,
Yeah.
almost saying like I told you so, because the thing is, you get people in your informal settlements, you get even like me, for example, who financially cannot necessarily afford to go to Kruger for a week.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, so a lot of the majority, it's only a small percentage of
1%,
people that can actually
2%,
go
maybe.
to these things and go to these places.
On their
And-
holidays
yes,
or whatever.
And the thing is, it's people like us that need to bring those places to the people. It's our responsibility to teach the people and saying, this is what's going on. We're in a drought now.
Yes.
We have to say, we have to be water wise. You have to take precautions. You have to watch how you are using your water. I mean, yes. I mean, if you look also, the Gardiner Dam has been in use now since 1980. And it was only, I think, raised in 2018, 2019. And, George, the last census, I think we were over 250,000 people.
There's a lot of people coming here.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's at full capacity, we have 3 months of water
Sure.
supply.
If it's not going to rain.
If it's not going to rain.
Okay.
So now we are in a drought situation, and they haven't built really, in my opinion, they haven't really built water infrastructure, more dams, for instance.
All this influx of people.
And we rely on surface water.
Yeah.
And then you have people that have that have the drill.
The borehole.
Yeah, the boreholes.
Like, this place actually has borehole.
So, yes, it's good for one. Yeah, it's good for that. You can get water, but you're taking it out of the water table. So,
diminishing that.
Yes. So, no matter how you slice it, you have to be. Yes, you have also people that get water tanks.
That helps a lot.
Yes,
at
that
least.
helps a lot.
Yeah.
Also, it's about a thing about affordability. Not everybody can afford such
water tank.
such things.
Have a nice roof to collect it.
Yes, even. I mean, yes, if you go in most places, people's yards aren't even large enough to really have the big water tanks and so on. So,
But the other problem is all these influx of people from other places around the country. They're all coming to George. They're all coming to, people can work remotely these days. Some of them don't even change their job. And they live in these estates, new estates that usually is built on a very fragile piece of habitat. Destruction, EIA went through, don't know how it happened. Build a lot of buildings. What happens if you build a lot of buildings? You use a lot of water as well. What do they plant? They don't plant indigenous trees.
yeah.
They plant bloody stupid oaks or nothing against oaks. but
No.
Plant indigenous guys.
Yes, I mean, even at home,
Like for trees at least.
Yes.
Especially here because trees can actually flourish here in this environment. Like in places like the Karoo, I understand. You can't plant real. There's certain trees that can only survive.
The thing with how people often get past EIA stuff, I've seen it happen. My lecturer, he has seen it happen as well.
And it's sad.
And it's a thing of you give them the client a response saying yes you can or no you can't. And if it's not the answer they want, they go to someone that will give them the answer they want. So you can say no, but then someone will happily take quite a sum and say, no, you're good, you can go ahead.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
not that bad.
And then you get people like us that like with the Gardiner Dam where we said no.
Yeah.
There's no way, there's no way you're doing this. This is
a lot
this
of people
is
rely on
our
that
space,
area,
and
like you
this is,
said,
it's
to get nature.
and it's not just
connected.
recreation. People think oh, I'm just going there for the fun, but actually what they don't realize is
good for your
going
spirit.
into whether you have health, physical health, mental health. I struggle. I've struggled with depression and anxiety my entire life. So I often, get that urge where I just feel, okay, I need to get to nature now. Now, for instance, this week, I said to my sister, get the dog, get yourself.
Let's just get out. Yeah.
Let's go. And for me, that is why, these type of spaces are so important, to keep, and not just plow everything just because you want to build a house or so. And it's not, and like I said, it's not just recreation.
Then you get people like who live their whole lives in a place like Tokyo.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of green areas. You get people that live in Shanghai, not a lot of green areas. And
yes.
What psychological effect does that actually have in the long term of a family that lives in a place like that? It would be such an interesting study.
Yes, I mean, my father, myself, even my mom, we all have the thing of, my grandpa, my late grandpa as well. They went fishing. And it's not just for the fun. That was their way of connecting with nature. And it's what people like I said. That's what people don't realize. No matter who you are, where you're from, what your background is, we are all connected to nature. Without this, we won't survive.
No, nature's everywhere around us. Yeah.
And if we're not here, nature goes on.
No, and we're part of it.
Yeah,
we should never forget that.
And we are technically
an organism.
Yes,
we are part of the ecosystem.
Even though we are the destroyers, if you want to.
We're a greedy organism.
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
So for us, nature can carry on without us. But we can't carry on without nature. And that's why doing the type of stuff that we do is so important. I mean, there are stuff that I know now that I didn't know when I was little.
Yep.
And if I have to say to my younger self, this is what you will go, this is what you'll become, this is who you'll become, I think I would be quite proud and saying,
definitely.
I've become like what CREW stands for, a custodian of our nature.
100%.
And there was like my sister and I, I went to take her to work. She was working night shift, and we were stopping there at the Total Garage there in Courtney Street.
Okay.
And I was sitting there. We filled up, and my sister went into the OK shop, and I sat there, and all of a sudden I just heard water running, and I was like, "Where's this water?" And I looked, and then at the stop between the gas station and the police station, there was two water jets spraying water.
Yeah.
And I asked the attendant, and I asked him, what's this about? And he said, no, it's to keep the people from sleeping on the pavement.
Oh my goodness.
And I asked, but how often does this thing run? He said every half an hour for 5 minutes. And I was thinking, every half an hour for 5 minutes, it doesn't sound like a long time.
They're using.
And I asked him, what is your source? And he said, no, it's municipal water. And I said, you guys realize we are in a drought. And they are forecasting until at least January below average rainfall for us. And it's like, yes, it doesn't sound like, but it's just 5 minutes every hour and a half. It doesn't sound like a lot. But quantified over time, if it's done every night, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
and it's such a waste. And that's why I say, we need to tell these people, there are alternative ways of dealing with, if they want to deal with these people that are there. There's a different way of dealing with it, rather than waste like one of our most precious resources.
Yeah.
See, it's our precious resource, if, like I said, our dam at capacity, we only have water for about 3 months.
Yeah.
If it does, in the case that it doesn't rain.
Yes.
So, we need to do everything that we can, to
minimize wastage.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very sad. But it feels like the homelessness here in George has increased because I was in George, when was it? 2023, 2 years ago. So I'm back now. But it feels like it's a bigger problem now. I feel like there's more homeless people now. So I'm wondering. But yeah, you can deal with that with other
Yes.
ways. But
Yes, you don't necessarily have to spray water so often, or even at all. There are other ways, that doesn't waste our resources.
yeah. Another concept that's happening in Cape Town. I can't remember what it's called now. But they're actually employing homeless people, and they're using them to like do the gardens, municipal gardens, or they're helping doing the recycling, and they're paying them a small amount just to get them back on their feet.
Yes.
I think that's such a great initiative.
And also, if you can take those people and you say, okay, we need to do alien clearing. A lot of these people are hard up for work, and yes, I understand. You need funds to do the clearing and the stuff, but there are so many people that can benefit, and not only the people, but the environment will benefit. If it's actually quite shocking. If you go from here to Uniondale, there's a specific stretch where it's literally like it looks like plantations of hackers.
Oh, of Hakia.
Like thick,
that's
thick
correct,
stands
yeah.
of hackea.
They are, yeah.
And I mean, we have this thing when we go out with crew, where especially us
Do you know
youngsters.
the reason why there's so many Hakia? How does a Hakia spread?
Well, mainly with if it's not controlled, fire.
Fire. No.
Definitely is one of our. I mean,
It's probably frequent fires.
too frequent. It's one of the problems in the Swartberg. Yeah, I mean, we've had our fire in 2018,
Yes.
and the fire isn't properly managed because before that fire, this mountain hadn't had a proper burn in about 45 years.
Wow.
So it was long overdue.
Yes.
But then you have the problem of
all the wattles,
wattles, the seed bank that built up, and now you have the thing is where they should have gone or did clearing
right when
it started, they left it.
Yeah. That's the most important thing. Right after the fire, then you want to go pull them out. You don't have to use chainsaws. You don't have to use fuel.
You've seen the plantations here being taken down.
Oh yeah, the pine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another thing is they leave the gum trees.
Why do they leave the gum trees?
It's because I don't think they have really use for it.
Yeah.
I mean for timber and such.
Yeah.
But now what's happening is they're removing the pines, but they aren't rehabilitating or clearing the other aliens. So now,
like all the wattle in between, all the blackwood,
and the bugweeds and all of that stuff. So what's going to happen, and it's already happening, is they're just going to pop up, and it's just going to take over, and you're going to have. We had a plantation of pines. You're going to have.
You have this mix.
A forest of invasives.
A mix.
And
just here, down here, there's actually a forest patch, Afro-temperate forest patch here. But right around it, you know what grows there? Lantana, bugweed, wattle, blackwood, all of those things. But it's almost like it has its own habitat kind of.
Yes.
Because you get these weird grasses growing there, and then, I don't know, some of the vines, indigenous vines, actually thrive in a wattle. Cadrostus, they just grow in that, what is that, Cape ivy? I see that growing on there. And so you have some indigenous species who can adapt to the invasives,
but most of our species, they have to be in certain habitat.
Yeah, it's all the disturbance species who thrive.
Most of the. If you look at the by the Garden Dam, most of the species that thrive there are those that thrive in disturbed vegetation. You won't find onderbos, black witch hazels.
No.
In certain forest patches that have been too disturbed because onderbos is like a indicator species because they're very slow growing easily some of them can be 200-300 years old.
Yeah.
And then that tells you, if you see onderbos in a forest, that tells you that is pristine forest, like that is virgin forest.
And in the very climax community
Yes.
usually. Yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah, you won't necessarily get them in the forest in the mountains, but because they are more in the lower
Yeah, that are lower
forests.
forest. Yeah.
But still, it's still a indicator that tells you, what is the state of the health of the forest.
Yep. No,
and
definitely.
that's easier way to tell you. You'll see certain species that say, or that tells you, okay, this is.
Yeah, but the forest is a difficult thing, eh?
Yeah.
To say this, the health, because it's not like the fynbos where it regenerates itself after a disturbance event. The forest is just like, and it's at its climax.
Yes.
You don't know. Like, I had this conversation a lot before, but the woodcutters obviously took about a lot of big trees out of the forest, and those trees are still not, it's still not where it's supposed to be. So you don't know actually what effect that had on a system like that, because it's a very difficult system to measure in terms of sunlight and temperature, but we don't know half of what we want to know about the forest actually. So yeah, it's difficult to say or see an indication of this forest is unhealthy or healthy. But I don't know about you, but because I worked in the forest a lot, you get a sense. Like you feel it almost. You feel it.
Yes,
this
you can
forest
tell.
tells a story. And then you go here, for instance, I go into this small patch, I'm not feeling that story there.
Yes.
But maybe if I go into the deeper ones, and like Gona, or you go into deep Vala, very deep, you feel that story, you feel like this stuff has happened here.
I mean, you can even I feel, that's what, the more you are connected with nature, the easier you pick up cues.
You pick up the cues.
And that's telling you, no, something's different here. Like also through, again, I've hiked this mountain to bits.
Yes.
Documented as much as I could on all the trails that I've ever been on. And then you start to notice the smaller things.
Slight differences.
I've seen a decline in Erica lemanii, seeing less and less of it. Certain species, like Gladiolus sempervirens, they will be prolific in the about 3-4 years after the fire, but as the vegetation grows higher and it outcompetes them, then they disappear. But doesn't necessarily mean they're gone. They just go back into rest, dormancy.
Yeah.
But then you start to notice, okay, but there's more of this species or this invasive is spreading. This species I'm seeing less of. Some cases more. It's not always. It's not always negative.
Yeah,
sometimes you say, "Oh, I haven't my Metis Passiflorus." That's why the crew group went up to Tierkop now on Friday.
That one. I like that one.
And it's just thousands.
It's beautiful.
My Metis Passiflorus, I think it was vulnerable and near threatened, and I think it's now least concern.
That's great. This is one that occurs only here, right?
Yeah.
I say.
One in our area. So you can see, this is, the more we went to places, now we saw, like, this looks like Vensterberg-ish. Tierkop, there are thousands of them.
I was there the other day. That's why I met Ludwig, actually.
Yes. So you go and it's just orange wherever you look.
It's beautiful. And the leucospermum as well.
Yes. So, it's that kind of thing, that just...
Yeah, so the fynbos is very dynamic. Like, it will never be the same. Like, what you're saying now, like you'll walk in a certain spot and it's not there anymore.
Yes.
It's so dynamic. Like the next season, if after a burn, there'll be more of that Erica species in that patch maybe, or there'll be more there, or be less here. So it's so cool in a way. That might also be a reason why these things diversify as well. Like the new generation's always finding itself in new
Yes.
habitats, probably. But I'm no expert. I just say what I see, you know.
I mean, the other day, no, I can't remember his surname, but Peter went up to George Peak
Yes.
along the old or the original route, not the as you go from the cross on the front side. And there used to be a population of Maimetes splendidus, which is endangered at Tierkop, but seems to be
You mean George Peak?
no at
Tierkop.
At Tierkop.
Oh, okay.
There used to be a population there, but it seems to be lost or have been lost.
Yeah.
But then they went up to George Peak along the original route, and they found a huge stand of them growing just off the path as you go up above the railway.
Crazy.
And you know, it's something like, you know, seeing that, you know, it makes, you know, you always get excited. You're like, oh my word, look, it's this one. We thought we lost it in our area, but here's about a stand of 30 to 50 plants of them, and you know, then you document them, and it's there, and you know where to find them, you know where to go monitor them.
And then the next fire
comes, you know, okay,
it's totally different.
have to go look.
So that's obviously a reseeder species.
I think yes. I think it's a reseeder. So they all take longer, really. I think Bussiflora is resprouting, or is a resprouter. So they'll be some of the first to come up after a fire.
Yeah, this is a very cool. I don't like the what is the common one? The
Cuculatus.
That one's boring for me. Sorry.
And I mean, I think of all of my meaties. There are. It's only.
Oh, let's check.
I think it's only one that is least concern. All the rest are red listed.
Cuculatus probably.
Yeah,
obviously.
Cuculatus is the common one.
Yeah. Pagodas. Wonder why it's called pagodas. You know, maybe.
No, I have no idea.
But check there. There's actually only 14 species here.
And all of them have status, except I think for.
You know what would be
Cuculatus.
cool as well for this view? I hope somebody's listening at INET to put the status just here as well. You know, when you're looking at species like this, would be actually helpful. Not just
Because
go into the
and
observation, but
often-
maybe just
And some of them needs updating in the sense of you'll go to some of them and it will show that there is no conservation, or they don't have a conservation status for that species. Often it's because it's a new species that's been too recently been described that it's not even listed on the threatened species program.
yeah.
But for instance, you know, you will.
This one is very pretty for me.
Yes, I think the one just below should be. No, that's Tukia.
Das balustras.
I just want to see where's. There's plenty.
There it is.
So no, you can see that there's only 32 observations on it, and
Let's check at it. I love it to do this. It's like going on Google Earth, you know, looking at cool islands.
you know, there's Peter's Peter's observation.
Maisvol.
of it. Yeah, Maisvol.
My genigtig, if you're listening, you're gonna be asked to come on here.
So they found it, and they reported it on the crew WhatsApp group that they found
Awesome.
up there, and I was quite happy because I thought, you know, after the fire that we've lost.
Yeah, and then Ludwig also went to go get it.
Yes.
That's probably the same day I found him 14 days ago. That's awesome. Let's check here on the map. So it's actually over the whole Langeberg
Yeah. So
area, actually. That's interesting. That's interesting. So
yeah.
why
So
does
right about
that's rivers
there will probably be one of my observations.
This one. Let's go in. I want to see
I think
if I can place there.
I think that should. I know. Yeah, that's Bianca.
Bianca.
I think ours would be the same place because we were at Bosman's Bos 2 years ago.
So it's here, yeah. Oh, that's a
So-
cool place. Bushman's
So you
Falls.
see, it's very few and far between.
That's what's so
But
weird for
it's-
me. So
Yeah,
it's just like popping up after, maybe it's like it doesn't have a very successful germination after a fire or something like that.
and I also think, especially because of the age of the veld here,
Yes. So probably a lot of the
that
seeds
a
died
lot
out.
of seeds lost its
Yeah.
viability.
That's
So
true.
that's why having a proper fire regime or fire plan for the fynbos is so important. I mean,
Especially for a botanist.
our fire was almost 7 years ago. So
Yeah,
so technically
it's almost
we have
time
about
again,
three
yeah.
about 3 years, because they say 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, it depends on the
Yes.
fynbos habitat probably as well.
Yeah, but generally for our area, it's about 10, 15 years
Okay.
that it's good to have a fire. And I mean, the last time it burned before now, like I said, was about 40, 45 years ago. There was some fires,
Small patches, probably.
small
But not as
patches, but
large.
not
Yeah,
the scale that
not the scale,
that we
yeah.
saw in 2018 and 2017 for the Knysna area. But you can just see the amount of when I started crew, it was about 2 years after the fire, and
You obviously saw a lot of cool things.
I saw a lot of different things that you wouldn't necessarily find so readily now.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible, just to see how diverse and how the fynbos works.
What's incredible for me is like the species differ so much from like the coast.
Yes.
And when you go up, everything is so different. And then when you go even further up, I might go to the field tomorrow. I want to go over the mountain a bit again. All of the species occurs here at the Swartberg, and it's just so different. Kamanasi, very cool place. I just love exploring, and
Yes.
I'm pretty you're probably the same.
I mean, the fynbos here, from fynbos from Knysna, from Tsitsikamma, from Mossel Bay,
All different.
all different.
Crazy.
And
And you would
it's-
think it's the same because the rainfall is kind of
Yes.
similar, but it's not the same. It's actually crazy. And I love this area as well, This I haven't explored a lot. All these mountain ranges here. Would love to go there. I don't know if you've been there before.
I've been
Yeah.
here in Clutus Kloof. And some of these places, you find are very remote, so people won't necessarily go there. That's why the crew, and that's what Di also said. With teaching us as younger generation, because they want to teach us, where to find these things
Yeah, before it's lost.
before it's lost, and it's why it's so important, for us younger generations to learn from the older generations, because they know where to find some of these species. They know its rarity. They know its their value, and it's just to have that responsibility. Might think, oh, sure, but I don't necessarily want to go all the way there. But to have that responsibility is actually an honor, because you are looking after some of the most rare plants, endemic plants. And then, yes, you obviously have your birders and those people that look at the other things. But, in terms of being a botanist, that's the kind of thing for me as well, is being or having that responsibility of being the future generations,
Yeah.
Teaching the generations after me. This is this species. This is why it's important to look after our habitats. This is why it's important to look after the fynbos, the forest, the renosterveld, the succulent karoo, all of these vegetation types that people drive to Oudtshoorn, to Beaufort West, all of these places regularly, and I believe that they don't grasp
What they're driving
what they're
past.
actually driving past. And you know how
One of the most
valuable and
diverse areas in the
important,
world.
and it's incredible, you know, once you start, and that's the thing that I really noticed for myself when I started learning these plants, and I started learning more and more and more. I started seeing more and became aware and became more conscious of, you know,
Definitely.
of
I started in the forest basically, and then at the koppies close to Stellenbosch. That's where I started. You know, just teaching myself, because a lot of my courses didn't really teach you what occurs there, and I
yes,
feel that's so stupid. You know, I would design a course just to let you go out with your students, just teach them what is this, what is this. Why? Because it's what you just said. It gives you an appreciation for it, and it gives you a bit of skills to see different things.
yes, and also, you know, when I did my undergrad, it was before COVID, so you know things were a lot different then on campus as well compared to even today.
Wow.
When I did my undergrad, I would often look at the accounting or the economic students. They would go to campus and go home, and they did the office stuff, and I was like, no thanks. But for me, it was my friends and I. We would go to Pepsi pools between classes. We would go swim,
Yeah, it's nice.
walk through nature, sit in nature, go down to the Kaimans or to the gorge or so on. And then very often, if we went to Pepsi pools and we got back, we would sit wet button or in class. You know, I often had a towel with me, knowing that okay, I'm going to Pepsi pools later or during my time there.
Yeah.
And then you'd go swim, and then you go back in class, and you felt, oh, now I'm ready for the next class, you know, and that's you feel, I almost want to say you feel rejuvenated, like you know, okay, now and I feel better.
Yeah.
And you know, even I find myself now for the research block where I sat behind the computer writing. It's like I need to also, and we
You need a
discussed this.
balance.
Yeah, we discussed this because I'm also part of the plant ecology lab at the university, and we had a meeting now this week, and we discussed, you know, this type of thing where we get so stuck and hyper focused in our day-to-day lives that we forget to take time and just go out and appreciate, you know, what's around us. If you go to the Garden Dam, you just go and sit there. I've a couple of times I've come across people that are literally just sitting in their cars with their windows down, just listening to the sound of the birds, the wind, the serenity of it. And you know, I often think to myself, you know, if you look at our rushed day-to-day lives, you teaching and such, you know, you go to class and you go back home and you
prepare for the next
for the
thing,
next,
and you almost don't have time. You're tired all the time.
yes, and then you feel like I can feel my internal battery is low. Now I need to go out, I need to recharge, I need to just connect or disconnect disconnect with that life and reconnect with nature. Just sit and listen to the birds calling, and just go and look you don't need to know the plant's name necessarily, but just go and look at the little flowers. Look at, oh look, there's a butterfly going to that flower, and just people are so rushed that they don't stop and just sit or just take a moment to just take in the nature and just, okay, now forget about the problem at work. You know, you can always get back to that, but for now, for your own sanity also, you have to go and you have to just stop and quiet down and just look. That's the thing that people don't do. It's, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to go to this place and that place, I haven't done this, and now I need to go and do that, and then people go crazy. And that's why, you know, I've taken so much joy in, you know, having that balance. Even when I worked for Sandy, I kind of had the arrangement for 4 days of the week. I worked Monday to Friday, off on weekends. But I had a arrangement where I worked Monday through Thursday behind the computer and doing assessments, and then Friday I went out into the field to collect data. So for me that was a nice change of scenery also, from being stuck 8 hours a day behind the computer to now have a day in the field where you just shut down from that, and you're like, okay, now I'm back into nature now. And you look at, like I said, ordinary people don't need to know scientific names, common names, but they must just go and look and just go and appreciate.
Yeah, it's also not necessarily just nature. It could just be something that you're passionate about, and just even if it's meditation or whatever, some jiu-jitsu or whatever you like, but just to get that sense of
just to ground yourself.
What annoys me a lot is these sorry if anyone's listening that drives a bike, but I don't like these downhill.
Oh yeah.
I never get that. Why do you want to go so fast? Like, just relax. For me it's very competitive, and it's like driving down the hill fast with your mountain bike. I don't get that.
You often ask us botanists and so that goes on the bike part, and I know I can understand it's sometimes annoying for the mountain bikers coming down in high speeds, but still, it's that's also the other thing, about going into nature. So you have your like your mountain bikers. It's something they look forward to, is going on mountain biking. And it's more than just the activity.
There's a reason why
it's you are going into the mountain. You're escaping your everyday urban life, just to and you might say yes, it's exercise, but you're doing it in nature. You are disconnecting from your urban being and connecting to your nature or your natural being.
Like, I used to run a lot, and I started running in the field a lot when I was a student. And then I started to stop because I realized I'm so curious. I don't really want to run in nature anymore. I want to take my time and walk to the next plant and oh, here's a cool butterfly, or oh wow, look here. But if you're running, I know it's for exercise, but I can't do that anymore.
Yes. I mean, like I said earlier, Nikki, she takes her time going when we go into places, and really just in a relaxed manner.
And she probably observes a lot more things.
Yes, I mean, if you go and look at the stats for the garden route itself, as a whole, she has the most species recorded for the garden route. I'm second, and then Colin is third in the rankings. But that's the other thing. It's not about ranking. It's just I just record whatever I can, wherever I can. But when I started, I was like, I want to get to the top. Not taking my time, really seeing, what's around me. What plant is growing maybe there. And you miss everything in that rush, really. And once I started slowing down, where it was less of a race to see who can get to the top first. When I started taking my time, I really started seeing the little things that I didn't notice before. Even in areas where I started walking, then I went to that area again, took my time, but I didn't see this here before, I didn't see that here before. And just to slow, and it's because you take your rush day-to-day life and you go into nature. That's why I say you have to stay, or you have to go into that state of now I need to just stop and take in what's around me. Have a look. You would be surprised, I was driving home yesterday, and I saw you can already see the honey bush patches in the mountain, just the stands of yellow, and it's one of the most incredible things. You know, it. For instance, 3 years ago, Inga and I, she's one of the older members in the senior members in the group. Not older. Don't want to be disrespectful. She's one of the senior members in the group. And we went for the BioBlitz in October that year. We went to the Lady Smith area.
Oh, nice. This probably
And we went through the Severwerkspoort.
Oh, beautiful.
And honestly, we stopped in this one because how we did it was we stopped in one of the places we can stop, and then I would walk, and then she would catch up, and then then I would walk, then she'd catch up, and that's how we kind of gone through the through the observations through the poort. And we stopped at this one particular place. Soralia odoratissima it's a near threatened Soralia, was flowering full flower.
They also smell so nice.
Oh my word! I said, and whoever might listen, I invite them to do this in October, right about towards the end, especially of October last week. If you go there, even rolling down your windows, you don't need to be close to the tree. And I said to Inga, you know, I have no idea what heaven is like, but I'm certain if heaven had a smell, if heaven had a scent, that
I love a Soralia
that would definitely be it. It's like an indescribable scent.
Does it have like the same scent as arborea, kind of?
Similar.
It's
It's
more
sweetish,
sweetish.
but much more intense. Like you roll your windows down and you are literally hit hits you in the face.
Yo,
and
nice.
I just said to Inga, this, if heaven had a scent, this is it. This must be it. And it's, you know, you take that appreciation for and you, like I said, you know, that's the thing about stopping, looking, smelling, observing, just looking, and then it amazes you that, you know, you drive. Many people drive past on the main roads, and some people never have the privilege of even experiencing that type of thing. And that's why, you know, I want more people to go out, more people to go into nature, just go and appreciate what we have.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's so important, you know, that's why I said, you know, that's why it's so important. Protect and conserve and, you know, appreciate, you know, the nature that we are blessed with in our area. Because, I mean, if you go to...
Yeah, if you can't appreciate, like, we don't all have money to go to all these obscure places, but at least do the local.
Even in your back,
in your backyard,
in our own backyard,
whatever.
In the mountains,
plant a cool flower, indigenous flower. Go collect the seed. That's what I love to do. You know, horticulture is awesome. You just plant it there, see what happens. You know, enjoy it.
And you know, that's why, you know, I said, you know, that's why people like us, we need to bring nature to the people that that can't necessarily go to places like Kruger.
That's the future, you know, to make cities more this landscape design where you have nature entwined with it. I think that's where the future is going to. I think like this thing of having protected parks is going to disappear later on. You're going to have it intertwined. It's the only way.
And you have people who, you know, might say, you know, it's their ancestral land. You know, their ancestors have been here for hundreds of years, and you know they've done a certain practice in a certain way for that amount of time.
Yeah.
And sorry.
No, it's fine.
And you know, for us, then you go. It's not like you can just go to them and say, okay, stop what you're doing. Or, you know, if they are harvesting plants for medicinal
reasons or so. But you can work with them to find a way that they can still do what they do.
Traditional practice.
Do their traditional practices, but still in a way that they can still conserve and say
Do it sustainably.
yes. And that's one of our major topics also that we have covered in my studies this year was or is sustainability.
You know what a big problem is in the drier regions is that you have that, like, where people can do their, their livestock grazing, all that. But the problem is people don't get enough money, so they put too many livestock on. And you can totally see the difference of where there's a frequent grazing compared to where the sheep or the cattle just can't get to. That's what area you want to go to as a botanist, because the sheep are eating all that endangered flowers.
Yes. and that's the thing with like the Overberg, and why Odette and them are trying to secure as many, or to get farm or landowners to take care of the renosterveld patches that are on the land. You understand, it's large scale agriculture, mainly your canola and so on,
and wheat.
And you are left with these itty bitty patches, but even those
patches are awesome.
Are still, and to make them aware that yes, your family may have farmed there for generations, but conserve this piece that you have left. Because once it's gone, it's gone. And there's no way to replace it or to get it to its original.
Yeah, it's very sad. As a ecologist, I would have loved to see the renosterveld in its prime, before intense agriculture started. It would have been very interesting, because I think it was a very grassy system as well, because of all the large grazers that you had on the renosterveld, which gone, they went extinct, basically, after the extinction. So it would have been very interesting to see that balance. But now there's another factor that comes of that. You had the Khoi people who also lived in between it and had their own grazing, and they burned patches, and the Sun people burned for, whatever they wanted to what's the word? To sample or whatever, not sample, but harvest out of the natural environment. So it's very interesting. I would have loved to see how it looked like. I think that's every ecologist's dream, to see the history. If you could just go back in time, like here, for instance, I wanted to see how these fields of fynbos looked up, and how it changed from going from the coast to the environment up to the mountains. It would have been so interesting to see.
I've said a few times. I've said to my mom. I've often thought about it. George is about 214 years old now, this year, and way back then, as George was expanding, like, we weren't this clued up with conservation. And I mean, in South Africa, really, I must say, for conservation and environmental policies and stuff, they're actually doing quite well with that compared to other countries. But I often said, I wonder, how many species that we would never know of
It's gone.
is gone.
So many.
I mean, surely there has to be, and Ludwig also said that, somewhere in this mountain there has to be more undescribed species.
No, there will be.
And like for George, as George expanded over the few hundred years now, how many species have not been lost? Because people didn't know better. It's as the years went on and you gathered more data and more people started looking and actually taking interest and saying, oh, but look, this is what we're doing. We actually have to protect this. We have to take care of this, and then we go further, and we come in, and we are the next generation, and we have to pass it on to the next, and the next, and the next, so that to ensure that what these natural vegetations and our mountains and everything that they are there for our next generations, whether you have kids or not, it's still for future generations to secure that.
I think me and Ludwig also spoke about it, but it's for the science, there's so many things to discover still.
Yes.
What can actually be beneficial to human civilizations, like the medicinal things you were mentioning, even products like hemp or whatever, for clothing or whatever. It could be any product that we don't, because there's so many diversity, you don't even know what all these properties of chemicals in the leaves and in the flowers can be used for all kinds of stuff. If you think of the economic side now, I'm always trying to combine that for people that does not have the outlook, don't see the value in nature, right? So you want to try and educate people, okay, yeah, sure, you don't care about a beautiful flower, but listen, this is some use. A kankerbossie has use, there's traditional beliefs that will help you.
And that is the thing is,
when you're sick.
In often cases, that type of knowledge is lost.
Yeah.
And
we lost a lot of knowledge of
people don't necessarily know, that the
because
cancer
the
bush
people
is
who knew about all these things are lost.
Yes.
Their culture is gone.
Yeah.
The Khoisan culture, it's gone,
I mean, we went through, when we were at Harwagskloof, we would often see kankerbos in between there. And I often think to myself, I'm a botanist. I know these type of plants. I know a lot of them, the medicinal stuff and so on. But then you go, a lot of people don't know. They just see it. Oh, this is a cool plant with a red flower.
Whatever.
And or like geranium and carnum, a vrouwenbos that was used for women's health stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that stuff is lost. People don't realize. I had a sinus the other day, and I saw in one of the effervescent tablets that they use Pelargonium.
Oh, that's interesting.
Sidoides, or I think is the species name, which is medicinal, which is used for colds and flu and stuff. And that there are products that are used, that actively use are indigenous, vegetation and stuff. And people don't necessarily realize that when they go into the field, that's maybe the plant that they are looking at is what is used in that health product there, or in this.
That's the other problem.
Or like Pelargonium, what's the rose-scented geranium.
Isn't it just rosy?
I think it's
Capillard,
yes.
or something like that.
But it's used in beauty products, fragrances.
Fragrances, I would think that it's the Pelargonium leaves, some of them at the most wonderful fragrances.
And people don't realize when they go into the field that plant that they are looking at is where that
what you're spraying
is where it derives. The bath salts and the stuff with those. It's where those products, is derived from. That's why I say, even that's a good example for, in our everyday lives. You would be surprised, that there are what you use that comes from an indigenous thing or indigenous plant or so, an extract of a sort.
But people are not taught this, you just take your X and you spray it, you don't really actually know where it's come from.
Exactly.
It smells nice and that's about it.
Yes.
It's the same with going to McDonald's and eating a burger. You don't really know where it comes from, but it tastes nice for me, so people don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, actually. But it's amazing. I just love talking about the nature in general.
I mean, for myself, my sister and I, she'll often say, oh, look at that thing. I'm like, oh, okay, that's that. And it's like, she would often roll her eyes at me because I'm I always like
No, exactly.
going out
No,
names.
actually, it's that.
Yes. And it's just like, Puti, wat is daai? And then like, let me have a look. And then it's like, and also, you know, when we go walk, I will stop often. Like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? And my sister was like, can we please just walk?
Yeah.
And like I want to take some pictures, you know, I want
They have
to...
the same problem as me.
So, you
My
know...
family is the same. If I walk with them, they hate it.
Yeah.
Walk with me because I
Yeah.
go there and I stop there and I whatever.
Yeah, and that's the thing wherever I hike as well, I will stop at least some place and have a look around and take photos. Even if I've been there before, you know, I might see something that I haven't previously or so, and then I stop and take a photo. And then I understand, like, other people, you know, like my ex-partner now, he couldn't really be bothered about, you know, taking photos of the flowers and so on. But we would go hiking every so often. I would tell him, oh, this is this plant and this is why it's called this, because sometimes, you know, you have your or the species name often describes a characteristic of a plant. And I told him like the 2 new species that I'm working on for Nydia, because I'm the describing author, I get to name them.
Yeah.
So for the one I've decided on Nydia minuta. Minuta meaning small, meaning minute flowers. It has a very low growing habit or growth form. And then the other one is going to be called dichroma, meaning two-toned, because the flower starts yellow, but as it matures, it turns into this deep, vivid purple.
Cool. Yeah, that's good name.
Yes.
Very descriptive.
Often, you know, my supervisor Anthony, my supervisor, he advised me when deciding on a name that naming something like for an area, like if you call it Overbergensis, is maybe not a good idea, because, you know, little is known about the plant at the moment. It might be that the plant occurs elsewhere, but now its name is Overbergensis, and you can't change it.
Yeah, I get
it.
it.
Once it's there, it's there.
And it also helps if there was a mistake.
Yes.
You can go back and see, okay, but this author called it minuta, so obviously it must be a small thing.
Yes, yes,
You know, so it helps a lot.
And he said, you know, what's preferred in the thing for the nomenclature, the naming of plants and animals and so on, is generally to give it a name that relates to the plant, a characteristic, or even a color. Like you will have Erick discolor, meaning two color,
Unicolor.
and unicolor meaning one color.
One color, no.
So, you know, often, you know...
But I don't get unicolor, because unicolor has sometimes more than one color.
Yeah, well...
Anyway.
Then you have like your discolors, with there's 3 subspecies of that. Now the whole lot is hybrid. Some of them are hybridizing with each other now.
Oh, goodness.
And then...
No wonder I can't ID them.
Well, you also have to you know, think, you know, is it a bad thing, hybridization, or is it natural speciation?
Yeah.
And that we see it as a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't get that. Why do we always think it is a bad thing?
I mean,
I can understand if it's like a flower industry, and you're mixing it up, and then you're bringing it back into the... Okay, I get that.
Yes,
because you brought species from farther away.
Natural hybridization. What that basically is it's what in our lifetime it's not even a blink. But over the history of Earth and of fynbos and of that kind of thing, you know, that's how new species develop.
Exactly.
It's not
a lot of hybridization.
It's not always
over time.
Yes.
And extinctions and isolation.
Yes. It's just how things are naturally.
Adaptation.
Yes, like you said, you know, if you hybridize it yourself and then introduce it,
that's a different thing.
That's a different topic.
Yeah.
But if it's a natural hybridization, it's not necessarily, you know,
a bad thing.
Because it just means, you know, that there are speciation, that there are more, that our plant kingdom is active. that they are ever evolving.
Yeah.
And as climate changes as well, you see certain adaptations that's noticeable over years. That's why you get variance. They occur in certain areas in certain conditions. So they've grown to have this specific characteristic that supports them to be in that area, whether it's in a drier climate or a wetter climate or colder or a hotter climate. And that's also a very interesting thing to see is what species are adapted to what.
Yeah.
And you get your temperature or your altitude sensitive species.
I love that.
Protea venusta,
I love how you
montana,
walk.
and
How you walk up a mountain and the
Yes,
vegetation just
yes,
changes. I love it.
It's literally you can see it with your own eyes.
Yeah,
Where
you
you
can
can
see
where
how
you
it
go
change.
up a mountain, like you say, you go up, and as you go up, you start seeing a species that you didn't see further below.
Yeah.
And as you go up, you see something different. As you go up, you see something
And you
different.
see at the very top, you see a thing that's adapted to just the top.
Yes, exactly. So it's that kind of thing. That
I
is
like that.
yeah, and so it's once you start noticing that kind of thing, you start seeing it everywhere. And
Definitely.
I mean, I wasn't.
Same with waterways,
yes.
rivers. You'll see there are different things close to a river. Distance from a river is a big thing because it's also an edge effect. There's a lot of other
Yes.
things that come into play as well. Oh, it's very cool.
And you also see, how certain species, why it's important to conserve our environment. That certain species only occurs in certain conditions, and once those conditions are gone, that species is gone.
Yeah,
And we don't.
they can't adapt that
Yeah,
fast.
people don't always grasp, the effect that certain, building, like we have a housing problem as well. So because of the influx of people, so now they are going and they are actually plowing fynbos and other vegetation down to make space for houses. And certain people, for them it's they are aware that they're doing it, but for them it's like people need houses, so we have to do this.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so it's a sorry, but we don't have a choice. But then it's like, you kind of, okay, that's fine, but then
But then we have houses in the middle of the town that's falling apart.
exactly.
No one's living there, for instance. You get that a lot in cities. So that doesn't make sense to me. But it's also this element of they build an estate where nature is.
Yes.
But while they build it, they're actually destroying.
Yes, exactly.
It's hilarious, these eco-estates. Oh my goodness. They call it an eco-estate and then they've just planted 5 trees or something. It's just because it's outside of town. Now all of a sudden it's called an eco-estate.
And outside, or as you go to Hartenbos, you will see one of those eco estates on your left hand side. And I kind of always think, they pride themselves that, they are in the fynbos, they are in this natural setting. But then if you go look at the houses, they are stacked on top of each other.
Disgusting, yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, yes, you are now surrounded by it, but you're not in it.
Yeah.
You're not really replanting natural stuff like you've said before.
Yeah.
You're not planting indigenous vegetation. You plant that fancy tree from that
From
place,
Japan or whatever.
yes.
Nice flower there.
And that's the other thing is people want to have in their gardens
Pretty things.
pretty things.
Things that don't look ugly after a time. And that's the one problem
Yes.
with fynbos is that it's pretty for a season and sometimes it gets stokkerig,
Yes.
woody, and then people don't want it, they take it out. What can you do? You try your best to just teach people.
Yes.
But a garden stays a garden. What is a garden? A garden is something that you keep intact or
Yes.
keep it neat. You do the same with an indigenous garden. Like, you don't just leave it. You can if you're one of those people and it works, but if you can't, not grow it because it's not garden quality. For
Yes.
instance. And that's what pisses me off with fynbos and stuff. But one of my dreams is actually to grow a lot of fynbos species one day, especially this obscure. I just don't have the space for it. That's the only problem. But I really want to germinate obscure species that you can grow in gardens, not just all these common, boring, generalist and disturbance species. I think there's a lot of value in that as well, because that will also just bring up the diversity, creating these stepping stones for insects and for birds, and it's just cool. I think that's where the future is going, and if you can design something like that where these new estates, because it's going to happen. More estates, if you can just show them or teach them. That's the one problem of us. We're not outspoken people usually, conservationists. We're kind of a community of... It's the whole reason I'm doing this podcast, another reason, because I want our stories to go out there. It's not because I want to become successful in it. It's just because maybe there's someone who's listening somewhere and this will help them, you know?
And then, one of our assignments at the start of the year, we were looking at like birds and, we kind of said, like in my garden, we have plants that are friendly or nectarous, bird friendly. And often, the more you are closer to the mountain, because we had the discussion of, do you put the nectar feeders into your garden? Is it beneficial? How when do you decide if you put in a artificial feeder in your garden? And the most natural answer is to plant indigenous plants. You have Hilaria lucida.
I love that.
And
and
the pom-pom trees and that kind of thing. That
pom-pom, is it really indigenous?
Yes.
Where does it occur in
well, technically,
I want to know.
Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, but it's a fantastic garden plant.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I don't see it here.
Well,
have you seen it?
I've seen it.
Where have you seen it?
In a lot of gardens, though.
Yeah,
but still,
but I mean, in a natural habitat.
No, you won't find them here naturally.
No.
But it's still a indigenous species to South Africa, and it attracts pollination, pollinators, and
that's true.
That's the kind of thing. I have Erica glandulosa also in the garden, which is a tubular Erica.
Or sugar birds.
Yes. Yeah. So that it's that kind of thing where it's you have the thing where we had the discussion. Okay, but will it negatively impact the natural vegetation from being pollinated if you are providing the pollination? But then the other argument is, okay, but I'm in the middle of town.
Yeah.
Urbanized often these birds come into the urbanized area, so you kind of go, okay, how far in the urban area am I? And then you can say, okay, well, if I'm close enough to the mountain, maybe it's not necessary to add artificial feeding or so. But then I live about a kilometer from the mountain, so it's still quite a distance, and we often get amethyst sunbirds and southern double-collared sunbirds and so on, bulbuls and all of those birds visiting the garden. We had green wood hoopoes the other day, and just made a heck of a racket.
I love them.
But yeah, we have quite a lot of birds, and so coming to the garden, and it's kind of nice because you're attracting naturally, and you're kind of helping give, like you say, like it's like a stepping stone.
Yeah.
So the birds learn that they can go there and there to, if they need to feed, or so if they are in desperate need, maybe if food sources are a bit low. But you have
like in a drought environment,
exactly.
for instance.
So certain plants might not flower as prolifically as they usually do, because the plants are in drought mode, so I can't use all of my resources, otherwise I'm going to die. So they flower fewer or they don't flower at all, which can happen. Where seasons come where they just don't flower.
Yeah, so this artificial feeding, I know I had a friend who did a master's on it. I'm trying to remember. I think basically she tested if it's negative for the bird or positive. I think she found the same what you just said. I think it's positive if the environment around it, there's nothing. But obviously if you're close to natural vegetation, it's not. Don't do it. Rather don't do it. Actually.
Yes, I mean you can plant like plants in your garden that is more bird friendly also. Then putting artificial, because they're getting now feeding from the artificial feeders, but they aren't pollinating the plants that rely on the birds, and so to pollinate them, because now they're getting their feed elsewhere.
Exactly.
So it's better to actually just plant your indigenous vegetation that is nectar friendly for your birds, and that can even attract your honeybees and so on. It doesn't necessarily have to be birds, but all kinds of critters and birds and insects and stuff that really relies on nectar or pollen to move between areas that might be so urbanized that it's that they now a lot of their stuff or places are lost where they used to feed. And I mean, unfortunately we see it with the baboons now also, with the plantations being taken down, that they are displaced.
Yeah. So they're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
People's homes probably.
Closer
to headlands.
I've seen quite a few baboons now closer to home, where some nights I lay in bed and
you hear them,
and I can hear them calling from the mountain. Now, like I said, I'm about 900 meters to about a K away from the mountain, which
it's quite close.
Which is quite close, but still to be able to hear them all the way from there, it's quite. And you see also towards campus, there are more baboons than there usually was. And it's because they are displaced here. They used to be more here. Now
they're seeing opportunity there.
Their home is now gone, taken away. So now they have to relocate. And then often you can hear them fighting, and you can hear what my father always used to call the brandwacht, the one that looks out and gives like warning calls and stuff. You can hear them more often in the area than you usually did. Especially around the botanical gardens, especially I've noticed them more.
Yeah. But baboons are quite adaptable to the environment. That's what I like about baboons. They adapt quite quickly. But all mammals, mammals in general, adapt much quicker to the environment than any other thing. So we're so successful, I would say. We're very great, adaptable.
I must say, our baboons, well, on campus it's probably a bit of a problem, but compared to like Cape Town, where you get reports of them destroying property. I mean, even though they've been displaced, I haven't heard in the Denwood area that they've caused damage or.
Maybe they're more chilled.
Yeah, or more
maybe
tame.
It's also but the people in Cape Town probably fed them all.
Yes.
And they realized what food is out there and what they can steal.
Yes.
They just became smarter about it. Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the suikerkykers, because the suikerkykers.
It's a nice name.
They're looking at the sugar birds in the Cape, and I was privileged enough to go out with them in the field, and they're just observing birds and how they visit at the different protea species. So it's very cool. They put on camera traps for some of the flowers, and then other times you just walk there and look at the flower. You collect the dead flower heads for any, what you call them again? The fruit eaters, basically, the insects and stuff that eat. That's very cool science. I like it. And what's nice about their project as well, they also go to all these obscure places previous research work where they go out and just look at this, compare the data and see how it changes over time. If there's actually a difference, if the sugar birds actually reliant on something else now, is there less of them, and you get cool results like that. But yeah, I think this has been great.
Yeah,
We've spoken 2.5 hours
Yeah.
now, so it's but sometimes it's like that. You just go on and you
Yeah.
get into the zone.
And it's nice, and the topic changes, goes this way and that way.
Yeah, I like it.
My mom always used to say, "No, that's a sign of a healthy conversation. Is that when the topic can change spontaneously, and one thing like it
But
just
I-
goes naturally. Like you talk about this thing, and then it reminds you, oh, but this reminds me of that thing.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the
that's-
sacred
and-
fingers now.
and everything, that's the nice thing is how everything's actually interconnected, even if you don't think about it like that. Where the one thing is actually connected, like our issue with our recreational spaces and protecting, and that goes to protecting those spaces, and that, and how it affects us, and how we are responsible for taking care of our environment and so on. So that's why it's nice when you think about it. Actually, you see everything is so interconnected. Without the one, there can't really be the other.
Yeah.
And if you don't do this, then you will lose that. And yeah, it's actually a privilege to be in that position
It's super privileged.
where
You're very
you
privileged.
can go into nature and you're like, this is so important for us. I am a custodian, even if you are a lawyer and so on, it's still, you are a custodian of the
world.
of the world
Yeah.
that you live in, and it's our responsibility to take care of it. And
We have the cognitive ability
Yes.
to have that responsibility.
like I said,
We are
if
smart
if
enough.
our nature, if our environment is healthy, we are healthy.
It's true.
And whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, if we are in a healthy environment and we have access to a healthy environment, we will be healthy.
No, definitely. No, that's definitely true. Yeah, I think we should wrap it up right
Yeah,
there,
thank
because
you.
that was a cool thing to end off with. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Yeah, I just want to say this because I feel like, before I wrap it up now, conversation is so important. If I think about my best friends in the world are the people I had really meaningful conversations with. That's it. If you look at every person I connected really well with, I had a good, nice conversation. This is why I like to do this way, having a nice conversation rather than me asking you questions and you just answer them. That's not how I want it.
Yeah.
I like to see where it goes to. But yeah, thank you so much, Eric. It was great. We should do it again.
Yeah.
And please invite me if we go to the field.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
here till the end of the year. I would love to see some of these places that you guys go to, the crew members.
I'm leading.
If I can be involved, anyway.
I'm leading a hike now in November, which will probably be after exams, because I have exams in November. But we are doing a hike in the Swartberg, looking
okay.
for a Capoeiracy. I think it's Capoeiracy. I'm not exactly sure. But it almost looks like an anthospermum, but we are not sure if it's a new thing. So we're planning to go there in November to see if we
Okay.
can find it.
That's cool. I would love to come
Yes.
back, actually.
And then there's a lot of stuff I can show you there. And
Yo.
I know it burnt a year or so, or a bit more possibly now back. But there's a lot that that I would love to show you up there.
That would be wonderful, actually. All right, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's say goodbye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.